Genesis chapter 6, verse 20. John Gill, the exposition of the entire Bible, verse by verse, being read by Dr. Peter John Parisis. Genesis chapter 6, verse 20. Of fowls after their kinds, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. What before is generally expressed by every living thing is here particularly explained of every sort of them. And from the order of them some have thought that in the same manner they were disposed of in the ark, the fowls in the first story, the cattle in the next, and the creeping things in the lowest most. But others placed them in a different manner. See Gill on Genesis 6:16. The roots and the grains in the lower storage, the living creatures in all sorts in the second, and their hay and litters in the third, the second story being 300 cubits long and 50 broad, contained in the whole 15,000 cubits, which is supposed to be divided into 150 equal rooms. So the Targums of Jonathan on Genesis 6:14. Of these 4 are allowed for Noah and his family, 2 which with earth are for those animals that live underground, 1 for those which live on herbs and roots, and the other for those that live on flesh, and the other 144 rooms are divided in 3 parts, that is, 24 for birds, 25 for beasts, and the other 95 for such animals as are designed to be food for the rest, and according to the calculations of learned men, they appear to have been in this room sufficient for all sorts, birds, beasts, and creeping things. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. That is, they shall come of themselves, as Jachin and Aben Ezra observed, the providence of God so directing and impelling them, just as the creatures came to Adam, so there was no need for Noah to take any pains by hunting and hawking to get such a number together. The Targum of Jonathan is, they shall come unto thee by the hand of an angel, who shall take and cause them to come. So says another Jewish writer that they were collected by the angels who presided over each species, in which, except for the notion of angels presiding over each kind of species, there is no incongruity, as Bishop Patrick observes, and 2 of every sort were to come in the ark, to be preserved alive there, that they might propagate their species. So Lucian says that swine and horses and lions and serpents and all other creatures were on the earth entered into the ark by pairs. Footnote from the reader. My dad, Harry Walter Dean, used to tell me that the reason we don't have the ark for us to be able to look at and to look into it, which is on Mount Ararat, they have several sightings and pictures of it, is because we humans would take and worship it like an idol, like we have done so many other artifacts that have been discovered. And so therefore, God makes it so that we cannot. Why speculate on how many rooms, how big they were, where the animals were? Noah was not any kind of an expert in any of these things. This would have to be all God directed. Whether they ate or not during the flood, we don't know. We do know that God can cause animals to go into hibernation. We also know that it's foretold that in the future that the lions will eat grass. So God can do whatever he wants. So I don't find any need for this kind of supposing. It's just a waste of words in my opinion. End of the footnote.